Well, it has to be a kind of good day because the Rams just beat the Cardinals. Now I'm from St. Louis, so how do you choose between the Rams and the Cardinals if you're from St. Louis? Well, I've lived in California now for over 50 years, so I guess I'll go with the Rams. Anyway, on another front, the war against Hamas is not having any noticeable effect in the market. Now, I don't want to downplay what's going on over there. Believe me, I'm extremely sad about it, praying about it, concerned about it, very concerned about the folks who are protesting in this country. Even if they're stupid, they should think before they act. Anyway, some think that the oil price spike on Friday was about the war. It is not. The experts are telling me, I'm going with these experts, that this had nothing to do with the war. It had everything to do with the decision by the Biden administration to apply sanctions that should be applied to a couple of tankers that were carrying Russian oil inappropriately in some way. I don't totally understand all of that, but this was going to interfere with some of the supply out there. And so oil popped up. Last time I looked, it is now heading down in the pre-market. We will check that before we conclude here later in the day. Now, let's see. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. This is the Sunday night show where we talk about all the earnings that are coming up this coming week. You want to be here tomorrow, of course, in the morning, first thing at 7:10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, where I give you the information about the what's taking place overnight in news that's going to affect markets, and then give you an update on where the markets are trading and what I'm seeing out of all that. I will give you later in today's show, as usual, my analysis of where things are headed this week for the market overall, and of course for Tesla. All right, well, the Truflation index came out today, and it was headed straight down. So this is good. It's now sitting at 2.28. This is getting very close to the low it has been all summer and fall. This is buttressing my position that we're completely done with inflation, and we're halfway through October with absolutely no evidence of inflation bouncing. Now, this is contrary to Truflation's blog, which you may have heard me talk about the other day on another episode, where they were saying, hey, we think it's going back up to 3.5 by the end of the year. I think there's not a chance in the world that's going to take place. I can't find where that's going to come from. So for now, I'm going to be way more interested in Truflation's data than I am in their analysis. Those are two completely different art forms. There's no proof yet that they're really good at the analytical side. All right, here are the big reports coming in this week. Now, on Monday, we've got the Empire State Manufacturing Survey, which is expected to be down hard. That's what the street's believing here, down 6 after being up 1.9 last month. I don't have a clue. That could very well be true. We have a bunch of Fed presidents and Fed governors, whatever their titles are, all these Fed folks talking all week long. You know how that usually is not good for the market, but the most recent statements by these Fed folks has been more dovish, and that's actually been helping the market. So let's see what happens during the week. I'm not going to give you all the list here because just about everybody's going to be speaking this week. On Tuesday, we have U.S. retail sales. Those are expected to be not as strong as last month. They were up 0.6% last month. The street is looking for 0.2. Retail sales minus auto were up 0.6% last month also. This time they're looking for 0.3. So they're looking apparently for a little more strength in other retail as opposed to the autos, which they're thinking will be down, which would make sense with the strike going on right now. We have industrial production coming out as well. Now, will I be able to report that? So, yes, I should be able to report that as well. Industrial production coming out. They're saying again down, not down, but just less than last month, was up 0.4. The street believes will be up 0.1. And then we have capacity utilization staying even at 79.7. Now, that capacity utilization number, typically what people like to see there is 80%, a little over 80 is considered to be a good. All right, so the fact that it was 79.7 last month and still planning to be 79.7 this month, that's an overall good number for the economy and would tend to equate to the fact that we're getting this roughly 2% annual GDP increase, at least with regard to the manufacturing side. Then we have some more Fed speak. Let's see, we have Business inventories later in the day, home builder confidence index later in the day. So I won't be able to report those until the next morning on Wednesday morning. But business inventories are expecting to be up a little bit. That's unusual. I don't know where they're coming to that conclusion. I would expect those to be coming down a bit. Anyway, home builder confidence, they're saying, is also going to slide down. That makes a little bit of sense because we're not seeing as many building permits. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, then we got Wednesday. I don't know what's happening on Wednesday, anybody. So we've got Tesla earnings on Wednesday, but we also have housing starts, which they are expecting to be up because the permits have already been in place. Although I've heard some noise that because a little bit of the interest rates and lumber prices are up a little bit and stuff, that maybe some of these housing starts are not starting. So I don't know. That'll be interesting to watch on Wednesday, which I'll be looking at. And then building permits, they're expecting those to be down from 1.54 million to 1.45 million. That is also kind of what I'm hearing out there. So, and what I'm seeing be my general idea. We got the Fed beige book also that day, but I won't be able to report on that until Thursday. Now, I've got on Wednesday, let me tell you what I'm doing on Wednesday. Wednesday, I will have a pregame show and a postgame show. Okay, so this is how I do it now. So right after the earnings come in at, somewhere around 1:30, I've got to read the earnings. I've got to listen to a couple of people talking about the earnings. Somewhere around 1:30, I'll do a quick video. I'll put that up. Maybe it'll be 1:45 California time after market close. And I'll just give you a quick analysis of what I've heard from what I think is going on with regard to the earnings itself and their expectations, how they're seeing things going forward. And then later in the day, I'll do a post-game show, hoping to have Larry Goldberg for that. That'll be somewhere around 5 o'clock California time four o'clock, maybe a little after 4 o'clock California time is when we'll do the post-game show. That's when it'll show up. Okay. So then on Thursday, we also have the Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey, which is expected to do better than last month, which was down 13.5%. They're thinking it'll only be down another 6.8, which is not exactly wonderful. Then we have the existing home sales. They're also expecting to be down to 3.9 million. Everybody is reporting that there's far less home sales than you would normally have this time of year. And I don't want to just go over and over this, but of course, there's no inventory. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with okay, sure, it probably has something to do with interest rates, but it really doesn't because there's just not enough homes. And then at 10 o'clock, which I won't be able to report until Friday, we've got the U.S. leading economic indicators, which are expected to stay in at negative 0.4. So that would be one more month in a row. That's been going on for some time now, month after month after month down. That's all we got for Thursday. Nothing for Friday except more Fed speak. All right. We also have some other earnings in addition to Tesla this week. These are the ones that I think that you want to pay attention to, that I'll be paying attention to and reporting on. We've got 3 of the big banks. We've got Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, all 3 of those reporting Monday and Tuesday, I believe. So that'll be interesting to see after the 3 really good results on Friday. Let's see if the banks are holding in there overall. Then, as you know, I'm following the airlines this year because they're one of the last bastions of inflation. So we have American and United coming out this week. And then consumer goods, some consumer goods are still holding a little higher in inflation that we'd like to see. So you've got J&J, Johnson & Johnson, and Procter & Gamble both reporting this week. So we'll be taking a look and seeing what their expectations are. In particular, what is their future casting? What are they seeing? All right. So Tesla, here's some Tesla news. Tesla is starting to ship the updated Model Y in China, but still no word on when the Model 3 Plus will be shipped in China. They're shipping them to all kinds of other ports, but they haven't started shipping them in China. Some think that there is some kind of an approval that has not been obtained yet, and that's why it isn't being shipped into China yet. We'll see what happens over the next day or so. Maybe those will pop next week. We have this is on X at by BYE on Chansoo, CHANSOO. saying many people don't know that buying a Tesla is cheaper than buying a Camry. The $7,500 incentive makes it cheaper. And then, therefore, you're already down to a much less expensive purchase than a Camry. And then, of course, you have the savings on gas and all the rest of that. But then what about leasing? Leasing at the very most right now is about going to be net cost you about $125 a month and probably less than that. So the lease is somewhere around $250. I forget the exact number. You're going to save, the average American that drives 10,000 miles a year is going to save about $125 on gasoline. In the coast, it's going to be way more. In the inland, it's going to be that or maybe a tad less. And then you're going to save on all kinds of repairs and maintenance and all that. Not to mention inflation, not inflation, what do you call it? Depreciation is probably going to be better on the Tesla than on your ICE car. Anyway, it's really going to cost you about $125 a month right now to own a Tesla if you're willing to do a lease. That makes it, I mean, there's nothing else you can, there's nothing. There's no other car that you can get for $125 a month. And that's really, really the actual cost of what it's going to be for you. That's why I said last week, I was thinking maybe I should just go out and do that, but I don't travel 10,000 miles a year, not even close. Anyway, so what's going to happen this week? Well, barring any special breaking news in particular about what's going over in the Middle East, I'm expecting markets to move slowly but steadily up, maybe one day up and one day down. But just in general, this is going to be kind of a slow moving bull. It's all going to be lovely. Some things, there might be some breakthroughs in terms of the earnings that will cause people to start getting excited. But as we see the earnings coming out this week, people are going to get more excited about the earnings season. And in particular, as we get the guidance, I think you're going to see that people are going to be guiding for a very good fourth quarter. And that's going to make the bull go even more so. I think bond yields are going to move slowly but steadily down. And I think you'll see this. It's going to be happening. And because inflation is going down, and everybody's going to see that a week from Friday, we get the PCE. And I think that's going to be a good print. Anyway, I think we'll see oil continue to trade in the 80s. And I think the dollar might be getting out over its skis just a little bit. I don't expect it to crash or go, come down 10% or anything, but I think we might see some softness in the dollar over the next weeks. Okay, so the pre-market is showing modest upward movement across all indices. Let's go ahead and take a look at the details right away. I'm going to start with the bonds because that's open. We've got the 10-year up 2 basis points. We've got the 2-year up 2 basis points. We've got the 2-month up 2 basis points. Okay, that's unusual. Everything's up 2 basis points. Anyway, but all in good trading ranges. The 10-year's at 4.65. I'm very happy that it's well under 4.7. I'm expecting it to go to 4.25. Okay, let's go inside and look at the other ones here. We have got we've got the Dow's futures are up 0.17 or $57. We've got the S&P up 0.21 at $9, and the Nasdaq future just a little bit more, up 0.25, $39.25 up. Then we've got the Bitcoin up 312. That's interesting. And then we've got the dollar showing a little upward movement again. And then gold down. Of course, when the dollar goes up, the gold goes down. But gold has been all over the place, as you know, over the summer, trading as high as in the 2020, 2030, and as low as in the 1800s. But right now, about 1938, right kind of in the middle of that range. And then oil is down 8 cents right now to 87.61. Again, I'm expecting after that big run up on Friday, I think we'll see this moderating over the next couple of days, but staying right in the mid 80s. I think that's about right. All right. So, you need to hit like. Have you ever hit like? Well, maybe, did you like anything I just did? Am I putting too much pressure on you? Anyway, hitting like isn't really about whether you like it or not. It just helps the algorithm. And so if you could do that, and then if you want to hear more of these shows, hit subscribe, because that just tells them maybe you don't use your subscription thing at all, but then you might hit notify, and that way you get notified when the show comes on. And sometimes you want to hear what's coming up. So in particular in the mornings, if you're available, jumping on there for a few minutes, usually 15 minutes, 10 minutes past 7 California time, and you get kind of everything all at once. All right. So, and then finally, join Patreon. You want to join Patreon so you get one of these for free. Look at this amazing gift box. I mean, if you got this, wouldn't you be impressed? The sales have been big this weekend. I'm very excited. So many sales this weekend. They had been down a little from the very beginning, but now this weekend they're picking up like crazy again. Now, if you want to join Patreon at the $10 level, you get it for free. Please let me know, stainless or camo. That will save us both a lot of time. And then if you join at the $5 level, of course, you can get a free book. And then you're going to get multiple news broadcasts during the day when there is news. There hasn't really been much news today or yesterday because everybody's concentrating on Middle East right now. All right, so if you want to buy it for yourself, you want to buy the camo one for yourself or whatever else, or you want to buy a bunch of them as gifts, $25 a piece, sent to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all lowercase letters. And then if you're out of the country, add $20. So all that information is down below in the description if you have not jotted it down just now. I think that's all we need to talk about. I think we're all done. I will see you bright and early in the morning. It's been great talking to you.